Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
And I'm still Sharyn.
And we welcome each and every one of you all back to our show. If you're new to our channel, please like, subscribe, and share our videos. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you in advance. And if you're returning, thank you. Thank you for being such a a soldier marching with us through all, wait a minute, 2 years? 2.5 years?
2.5 years. We've been out here, yeah.
For
and
those who've been with us since day one, we appreciate y'all. Continue to be on the front line with us.
And we're sorry for any engineering problems we had in the first 3 episodes, but now that we're at episode number 185 or whatever it is, we've been out here a lot.
Yeah. And speaking of front line, happy Labor Day.
Yes, and it's not Labor Day, but it's Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
See?
I get mixed up.
Well,
happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, and
for those who
if you've lost loved ones and people who some of the soldiers and just our military people who have just been on the front line, and all of them did not come home. As they said, all gave some, but some gave all.
Absolutely. So we thank you. And if you have any of those loved ones, we appreciate them and we appreciate you. You got any announcements?
More of the same. Rosa is still depriving me of food. So I'm down another 2 pounds. So I'm feeling very good. But other announcements bigger than me. Is we're still getting really excited about Pride for next month.
We really are.
Yeah, so Pride Month is June, but we do have our celebration in July. So we're getting really ready for the 16th of July. You've heard the announcements. Look at our website, and you also will get updates. So, just a little fun with the girls.
Yes. And I know some of you all have reached out to us already, and we appreciate that. And before we get into our shout outs, I just want to thank our friend in Virginia for the beautiful gifts that were sent to Sharyn and I. We so appreciate you.
Yeah, what it is, and you didn't have to do that.
Who you are.
Yeah, so it made us feel very special.
Yes.
We're very flattered, and you're very kind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And by the way, my daughter said we got to beef up our security. She was like, how somebody send y'all something? I didn't get your address. But
yeah. Well,
I was like, Mom, y'all need to beef up your security. So we beefing up our security.
The world we live in, honey, if somebody want to see you, find you, know where you at, honey, it ain't nothing but 3 clicks away.
Absolutely.
But the fact that we're surrounded and we all, good energy finds good energy.
Absolutely.
So thank you for finding us, but it ain't hard to do. And I've had the same phone number for 35 years. So just saying.
And it matches up probably to the address.
Right. But on something that's not scripted, because we don't script, very little. But it's just that I have to say a very special good morning to my lovely wife, who's looking incredible this morning. I almost didn't do the show. I said, do we have to do the show? Aren't there other things we could do? I was
trying to match my hair to my shirt, if y'all can see
show them the shirt that you have on. Yeah.
So, but since you can't really see the shirt and my hair,
she knows I love when she wears her hair. She's got the thickest hair. I know I've said this before. She's got the thickest head of hair of any human being, and other than the real, our sisters in Africa. But I'm saying Rosa's got this incredible, beautiful, thick hair, and when she wears it in her natural state of afro, I just love it even more. I'm not so lucky, so I just do what I can with what little bit I got. Keep it short. They say the older you get, the shorter your hair should be. Who made up that rule?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's true if you believe it, but the older I get, the shorter my hair I wear it. So let's get on with the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's do our shout outs. First shout out goes to Biological Women Only. Thank you for your comments to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa, and thank you for being a subscriber. We appreciate you.
Hey.
Next is Miss Minnie.
Miss
Thank
Minnie?
you.
Hey,
Yes,
Miss Minnie.
Miss Minnie, thank you. Thank you for being a subscriber to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa and your comments, but we just haven't heard from you in a while. So hit us up again. Let us know you're still out there. And last but not least is Gina V.
Woo.
We thank you. We thank you for your comment as well, and just being a subscriber. We appreciate everyone. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking in part 2.
Yeah.
Of a part 1 that we've done. What, it was about a year ago?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
But the reason why we're doing it is because it is the most popular video. It's the most visited, the most tagged on video that we've ever done. And how many thousands of people?
I think it was like 14,000
people. A lot.
Yeah.
But in any event, and the title was dating older, dating younger. And so evidently there's a lot of older folks out there dating younger, and younger folks dating older folks for whatever reason. So we didn't, you can't possibly cover everything in 35 minutes, but we offered you our perspective on it, but we invited you to share your experiences as well.
Yeah.
And so with that, we had to go into the magic machine and select a new topic. And, Rosa said we're going to have to do a part 2. So today we're doing part 2 of dating older, dating younger, whichever side of the road you're on. A lot of y'all doing it because there's been a lot of, we just get so much feedback from it.
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting title because a lot of people are dating the non-traditional way. Growing up is like, oh, you need to be with a man and a woman. The man need to be at least older than the woman. And
5-7 years. Yeah.
2023, we got women older than men. We got women older than women. 17 years difference.
Right.
Like, nobody's really studying the whole cougar.
Right. Straight woman marrying a trans. All that cougar stuff. Like,
that's gonna be obsolete at some point.
So the bottom line, if you're liking and loving and you found somebody, go for it.
Absolutely.
Go for it,
As they say, age is nothing but a number.
Truly.
But Sharyn and I will get into the meat of the conversation.
Yes.
So,
I'm tired already. I'm
tired.
You go ahead.
In part 1, we just gave you all a little recap. Sharyn just gave you a little recap of what we did in part 1. So in 2, we're going to just let you know how it's been for us dating older, dating younger. And
drill down on some specific topics, if you will, because
we didn't get a chance to go over in one.
Right. So with that, I'll just jump into it, and that is, as Rosa said, using us as an example. We're speaking from our perspective, and for those of us who have not seen the other 179 videos, I am 17 years older than Rosa. Who cares? But it does, as it fit in closely with my history, my dating history, as I look back and roll that wonderful footage, most of the women, except for one, most of the women I've ever been with, have all been younger than me. Is that intentional? Is that, by choice? And I'm just like, I wasn't thinking of it that way. And even then, it was only like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, but then for me, as I got older, for me to get married for the first time legally, not to mention marrying a woman 17 years my junior, that was not jumping the lake, that's jumping the ocean as far as I'm concerned, because it did make a difference. I was 1 year away from retirement, and Rosa is not. Right. So did it make a difference in our relationship? Well, some things that I think make a difference as far as and I'm speaking as the older person. When I was, dating younger people, and now I see the dynamics, Rose and I have been together 7 years, but I do think it's a generational difference. The fact is that legally I am old enough to be her mother. I came from, we eclipse each other. I am definitely a baby boomer, meaning I was born somewhere between 1946 and 1964. Baby boomer, World War II, everybody came home. Well, not everybody, but many people came home and they made babies. So that generation, population exploded. Rosa is generation X.
I think I'm X.
You're X and born in 1972. So believe me,
17 years later.
We have different perspectives on things. We just do.
Yeah.
So how does it affect our relationship? I'm just talking about the differences. They're not bad differences, but there's something to look at. How she views the world, how she sees race relations, politics, roles. In my world, I'm old school. If you can see the top of my shirt, you can't. Oh, in the mirror is backward. Okay, yeah. It says bull dagger.
No, it'll be straight.
Oh, one of my friends, one of our friends, gave me this shirt. Bull dagger was an unpleasant, nasty way of saying the woman was gay. Not to mention butch gay. So that was back in the 40s, 50s, and I'm sure whenever it was around a long, long time. We don't even say the word too much anymore.
So we see Sharyn's embracing the
old school bull dagger. 30 years ago, I would have cringed. But now I'm like, yeah, I'm a bull dagger. Look, one can make the argument that I have bull dagger tendencies. So, yes. Other and chime in whenever you want to. But just the differences that I see, entertainment. She likes it, and I'm not beating anyone down. I'm just saying, just calling out the differences. She liked Mary J. Blige. I see Aretha Franklin. And not only do I see Aretha Franklin, I say Nancy Wilson. I say Sarah Vaughan. My generation.
But I actually like a lot of those artists. So that doesn't.
Oh, sure.
And then some of the other things that you've mentioned. That could play a factor, but sometimes it doesn't. I mean, just because you're with someone much younger or much older, you all can have the same likes, Yeah,
and I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just saying something. When you look at, there's a list. There is a list of 45 things that bring us together, and there's another 45 that I'm a little different about.
Right.
It's just I'm just different because of the time I was born, and remember, and I was raised by not traditionalists, but old school.
I don't think you're that much different, though.
No,
I really don't.
But
now your views on some things are different, but for me, your views, we differ so much when it comes to raising children. But I think because
hold on, that's a different video, y'all.
But I just think because you haven't really had any, so like your mother view doesn't really know how to kick in. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you don't have that motherly gene, but your views are different, and views can be different from people who are not experienced in something versus somebody that is. So I don't think that your list plays a big part in it. When you talk about energy and fun and things like that, you have a lot of energy too. It's just in a different sense. I personally think that it's the age difference in a sense, whereas we do like a lot of different things and we're involved in a lot of different things.
Yes.
But you could be the same age and involved in a lot of different things.
That's true. That's true.
So I think that's one of our biggest differences, but they say opposite attract. So I think it's also one of our things that keep us glued,
yes,
and keep us together, and excitement and things to talk about. Because if I'm coming home with something different to talk to you about, I think it makes our conversations and our marriage that much stronger,
and at least interesting. Yeah. But it's stronger too. But let me back up and say this. One can easily say that I am not the average soon to be 68-year-old. And again, if you've been looking at the shows and everything, I had a couple of health wrinkles there.
Right.
We've been married 7 years, and like I said, we got married in August. In October, life was a different wind was blowing. Okay, so in any event, I prayed God not so much to take the ailment away, but I was just like, please, of course, heal me and let me live a better life. But on the same token, I wanted to make sure that I was that I would have the energy. Because, Rosa is very, very physically inclined. She can hula hoop and somersaults, and she plays double dutch, and she runs, and, blah, 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 blah. Sharyn, not so much. I'm just now getting back to walking every other day, 3 miles. And that took a long time, A year ago this time, I was just coming off a walker into a cane. So blah, 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 blah. Not to go that deep into that. I don't think one can easily make the argument that I'm not the average 60, soon to be 68-year-old. I think I do pretty good for my age, and Rosa, I think, is very mature for her age in certain areas. And as you give and take, and you find this and you find that, like, okay, this is where we come together, just not so much. If you say, Sharyn, you want to go camping 2.5 days and come back on Tuesday morning, I'm going to pass how many wonderful hotels on my way to camping? Drop me off at one of them. When Rosa is ready to go, get water from the river, you know what I mean, and pitch the tent. I'm not sure I could pitch a tent, but I'm sure my wife can. So those are differences. So what I do, I try to come out of myself a little bit and like, okay, an ant is an ant, But so as I did that, and this one little side trip story as we went camping, no, not camping, well, we were up in the mountains with a bunch of black lesbians having a wonderful time. We had to sleep in bunk beds. Wasn't attractive to me, but that's not what did it. They had the windows open at the top, and guess what flew into the window? A bat. There's a bat in my room, sweetie. I was ready to pack and go. Rosa had to really put me back in my skin because I'm just not that much of a nature lover. And bats in my room, it's time to make another reservation. So I'm just saying, we are attracted to different things. We really, really are. And some things bring us together, and some things are like, what time will you be home, hon? I'll have dinner ready. Okay. Right. So not to get sidetracked on that. So we're just speaking to our differences as a black lesbian couple. We dated for a hot minute, and then we accelerated things and we got married 6 months later. Right. I wouldn't suggest you try that at home. I've seen very many examples when that doesn't work. That was not our intention, but we just got, I don't even want to say lucky. We've been blessed. Right. We have truly been blessed. So back to you.
Yeah, but I feel that when you think about age, like at first, I think Sharyn had an issue with our age. I never had an issue with age because I don't
because
care.
She's young.
No, no, because 51's not young to some people, but it's young in a sense, just not. You think about being a half century old, it is like, then it really sets in, But I think you had more of an issue with our age gap than I did. And I think when you have outside noise coming in, like, how old is she? Because you had a friend that every time you talked to her, and she was like, well, how old is your wife again? Like, it was almost like a dig.
Yeah, right. I said she's 2 months older than you asked last time.
Yeah, and it was just like, and for you, it was, I think all of the people in your ear played a lot of what you were feeling with our age. For me, I'm going to love you if you 60, 70, 20, 30, whatever.
It is what it is.
It may be. And if we click, we click. But I think we as a society get caught up with what people think.
Sure
so
we do.
If you love somebody or you fall in love with somebody and the age gap is huge, that's as long as both of y'all in agreement. Yeah, that's all you need.
Really don't care about the press release.
You really don't care about the press, And I think also, since you've gotten better with the age difference.
Well, I've calmed down, and guess what? It doesn't change anything. Yeah. I can trip it all I want, but I'm still 68 next month. Right, you know what I mean? And now you got the blues now, and guess what? God grace you, you're going to be 70 in two years. Yeah. Now that one, I'm gonna have to pull the cord on that one. Like, look, okay, just don't put all them candles on my cake.
No, I'll just put them number big as that. No, I'm just kidding. But I think. Where I was going with that was, I think that you are okay with it because we're in agreement. We're cool. But it comes up again when we're out or something and someone says, like, I'm your daughter, or just assume that, we can't be married.
I'm at the doctor's office and it's like, your mother's doing well. She's not my mother.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Oh, your daughter is very attractive. She's not my daughter.
Right. So I think then it comes back to you to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, but other than that, we've been working it. It's been working for us. Even the first video that we gave to you all, when we were talking about the whole age difference, and we said some of the same things, but from that time to now, it hasn't even been a problem. And I think most of your friends who probably had an issue with it don't have an issue with it anymore. I mean,
has something to say about it. Yeah, like I said, I ain't marrying you. I'm marrying Rosa. We're good. We're
going in our 7th year being married, and it's like
happily. Well, that's me saying happily.
Yeah.
She might say,
but low key, Sharyn was waiting for me to turn 50.
Ooh, look.
Because 50 doesn't sound that old. So when you how old's your wife? Oh, well, she's 50. She's 51 now. But
right. She's in her 50s.
Yeah. So now she can say that and it not sound.
So I don't feel like I don't sound like the old Grim Reaper. You know what I mean? Like, how old is she? Well, how old are you?
So low key, she still trips it a little bit, but at the same time, like I'm saying, it's working for us. So
now, do people are going to say what they're going to say, and they're going to say sometime what they think, and even if they don't say it, they still thinking it. And no, they're not my problem, but I do understand the world that we live in. You know what I mean? They're gonna make their little cracks, or she's a gold digger. Well, there is no gold, and she can keep on digging if she wants to.
I'm digging for gold, just not in Sharyn's backyard, because she has none. But
know that look, she's here for my entertainment value only. I ain't got no money.
But that's one of the reps that you get from what everybody's question is always, why does she want to date an older woman, or why does this older woman want to date this younger woman? So with those questions, it's always the younger woman is looking for somebody who can take care of them, and that is so far from the truth.
No, in your case.
But not in everybody's case.
No, not in everybody. But there's all rumors have a nugget of truth in it somewhere. Look, there are women out there looking to play you, and I get that. Been there, done that.
It could be the same age woman though.
That's true.
If somebody wants somebody to take care of them, I don't care how old they are.
Right.
Because even if you're 50 and you want somebody to take care of you, you're not really looking for a 60-year-old or a 70-year-old. Because most 50-year-olds want to date younger people at this point, because they consider themselves up there. Or if you're 60 and you want somebody to take care of you, these young folks are coming through with their own careers and jobs and all of that. They like, boo, I just need you.
Yeah, I'm digging you. Right.
And it's always that hesitation. I remember out in the dating world, like I was saying, I never had an age restriction. Although Sharyn talks about that on the website when we met, because we met online. But you had to pick something, so I just selected a number. But I never had an age restriction.
Right. And I think you maxed out at 55 or something. Like somebody said, I'm looking for someone maybe 45, 55. And I'm like, look, I done maxed out her max. Because I had already passed 60, you know what I'm saying?
But I had already, talked to a woman before that was 60 at that point. So I haven't...
You wasn't tripping it.
Exactly. And had talked to several people, actually, that was over 60. And one of the conversations I had with a woman who was older, she was like, well, why would you want to date somebody who's older? And I'm like, because I never even thought about the age thing. When you're looking online, you're looking at people who have things that you are attracted to,
and
that
things
you can
in common.
See online. So when you're reading their stuff, you're like, oh, okay, they like to run, I like to run too, or they're cute, whatever.
Right. I'm cute enough.
So you're looking for those commonality type things, but at the same time, their worry is, look, I ain't trying to take care of nobody and whatever. And the woman who asked me this ain't have nothing. She had like a roommate, like, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with a roommate at 60. I'm just saying for me,
60-year-old lesbians don't need roommates. No, I mean, as a norm, at that time, you probably went on and got your own spot. I don't care if it's just a little hobble house. You're not looking for a roommate. Like, I need somebody to share the electric with me.
Exactly.
Chances are you okay by now.
That's kind of the way I looked at it. Like, okay, maybe she don't make enough to pay all of her bills, because or you just want travel more, or whatever it may be for the reason why you have a roommate. I don't, I ain't getting nobody's business. But to me, it's like at 60, I just felt like, do you have a roommate because you need one, or do you have a roommate because you want one?
Yeah, it's just a question.
Two different things. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know why she was even asking. It didn't seem like she had enough, and I wasn't even looking at her for her money.
Right.
The lack of,
please, I didn't look. I'm just trying to get a date. Hey, look, we just going to the movie, honey. I did not ask your credit score.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating.
Yeah,
because of the whole, things. And I'm sure she got that from her friend. Like, how old is she? Why is she even? And she got 2 kids too. She must be looking for you to take care of her kids. I'm like, no, my kids is good to go.
But as you say that, and you're not the norm, you're surely a lovely departure from it. There are young women out there who are skeezers that are, looking for a good time and ain't willing to spend a dime. You know what I mean? I've gone to lunch with women who they don't even make a move toward their pocketbook because they feel like
but is that an age thing? You think?
No. Well, I'm just saying if you're a young hoochie, not that I was dating some hoochies, but if you're a young hoochie out there, you just probably like I'm gonna order anything I want off the menu, and I know old girl gonna pick up the tab because she is the old bulldagger or whatever, and I'm just like. Well, you ate everything on the menu except thank you, please come again. So now I got a bill for, $118 just for lunch. Because in your mind, you're thinking like, well, hell, you invited me and, and get me 3 orders to go because I'm going to bring some back to Aunt Lala too, Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And just already setting up the dynamic is you're older, you need to pay for my time. You're older, you need to jump through a couple of hoops because I'm young and fine and you looking at me that way. That kind of stuff. So that's out there too.
And
so
it is
I'm
out
just
there.
saying you're not that person, thank God.
Yeah.
And I yes, we really did fall for each other and it was meant to happen because you know how they say that that window would have closed so quickly because I turned off the screen twice.
Yeah.
And that was just based on her age. And then I looked at I said, my God, this girl, I got pocketbooks older than her. And the thing is, I'm just saying, like, well, if she got an age restriction or whatever, I mean, like, I'm already over that. You did put the 45, 55 or something like that. Whatever it was, I was past that. But then I opened up the screen one more time and I just thought, I said, man, she has the most beautiful eyes. And the picture she had, it was just it was very not only flattering, but it's almost like you can just see a person really see who they are through their picture. Like, she's probably a very sweet person, and I'm just saying you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So and that's when we're doing emails and everything. And then she like, well, look like I'm not wanted for murder in 14 states. So she's like, I'm gonna give her my real number, and she did, and we talked, and the rest is history. So, not to belabor that, there's the other part of here, I think some of the negatives with the age differences, okay, in my mind, because like I said, there are people out there looking for a good time, a free ride. I want to see the world and you can pay for it.
Yeah. But I just don't think it's a lot as people say that's out there. Now, there's always people, I mean, you're not going into a relationship unless it satisfies you, you get what you want. But at the other end, you're getting what you want too. Everybody gonna be satisfied by the end of the day. So if the person is satisfactory, has you paying for lunch, but you able to say, hey, you dating this beautiful young woman who's spunky or whatever, that might be just what you want to do. So everybody's happy.
Fair swap. Ain't no swindle.
Right. But other than that, what are some of the negative spins on dating?
And not just dating, coupling,
dating,
connecting, and you know what I mean? I just think sometimes our worldview, our politics, how you see the world and sense the world. Yeah. Because I am older, and I'm not making it about me, you, but like I said, we're just offering ourselves as an example. How much are you thinking about the future? Somebody, some people out there, young women out there partying like they ain't even thinking about no 401k. I done had 11 jobs in 6 months. Ain't no big deal. Like, honey,
I don't see.
Can I speak my thing? Okay, this is me.
I'm sorry.
And you out there dating and and she's gyrating and you're trying to get it together. Where you gonna go for vacation? What's your relationship with your family? Yeah. How are you religious? Fortunately, like I've been chanting. I've been, walking toward Buddhism for the last 30 years of my life, and I would consider myself a Buddhist. And Rosa is not. She's very much she was raised in Baptist, Methodist, and something else.
Church of God in Christ.
Koji. Koji. Okay, Koji. Church of God in Christ, so all that was just really full strength for me, and I'm just like, oh, I am not that aging lesbian. I mean, I didn't do the Christian thing. I mean, I was around it, but not of it, that kind of thing. And I feel, and I've never been baptized, and I ain't got no issues with that. But I feel that I'm very open-minded. But I'm just saying, with the age difference, like she, like I say, she 40 plus, younger woman, and I don't say a product of the church, but definitely been around the church and church people. Absolutely. So, which leaves its signature upon you. So Sunday morning to me is go for a walk or brunch with the girls or play with the dog or whatever. And Sunday morning to her is let's listen to spiritual for 2 hours. Let's go to church and Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Okay. You know what I mean? And that could be it could be cultural differences. Maybe we're from two different places. It could be the age difference too. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And because now, if that put us a little bit apart, what brings us together that we're both black women. Mm-hmm. Now, my experiences as a black woman, because I'm from a different generation, are different than hers.
But see, I don't look at any of what you said as a negative thing.
It's not a negative, but I can't say it's positive. Go ahead.
I believe that older women do, sense the world different. They've been here longer. You know what I'm saying?
They should be sensing something different. Yeah.
But it could be a good thing. Like for me, I love hearing stories before 1972 came, before I even existed. You know what I'm saying? Like that somebody has been through. I love hearing that. So I look at that as a growing experience for me. And another thing you said, something about the 401.
Yeah, excuse me.
Something about you was talking about the 401.
Yeah.
With that, yeah, but when you were that person's age, how much were you thinking about the future? So you got to give them that little bit to say, okay, I was partying at 32, so, let them get that out of their system or do whatever it is that you knew you were doing at their age. Yeah, you're a lot older now, and you do sense the world and been through more where you can teach them, hey, did you set up your 401? You need to be thinking about your retirement. Because if someone had told me this, I think it's all a learning experience.
And it is. And because I was here first and I did there's some things I can like, oh, wow, you blew that or whatever, but I didn't keep blowing it. And I as a lesbian, more or less of the 70s, look, we all remember the 80s and the 90s, weren't we having fun? But I knew I wasn't going to be 25 forever. Yeah. When I got to 25, I knew, then I'm like, you ain't going to be 30 and I knew no man was going to be taking care of me because that is not in the picture at all. And I said, who going to take care of my old dyke ass, right? Yeah. So I had to, as my mother would say, make some arrangements. I was very future focused.
Yeah,
okay,
to some degree. Norm. Some people are really, at 20, 21 out buying homes, and I'm like, look, did I have a credit score at 21? Like I can't even,
like you might have had one, but it was negative. Your credit score is a negative 5. I couldn't
even been able to afford to buy a lollipop. So you have those, people who are like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be this, and they are exactly that.
Right.
Then you have people who are very fickle. Like I was very fickle. I changed my mind today and do something tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
But you grow.
Right, you do grow. But
and when you're with a partner who, so the gap is so much bigger. You're in two, zones, as Sharyn was saying. It could be different, but at the same time, it could be a negative thing if you look at it that way, or it could be a positive thing.
Well, let me ask you this. In our situation, and not just because I am the older one and you're not, do you think that I've put an importance on how we're going to live in the future?
Yes.
Have I made it a priority of how you may live in the future should you outlive me?
Absolutely.
Do we talk about it often?
Yes.
Okay, probably too often, but it's just the reality of no one stays here forever. And granted, Rosa could leave the planet tomorrow. You don't know what's written, but I'm just saying whatever we do, we're going to do together. And I don't want you I don't want your style, your style of living to decrease, and that's not the way I want to say it. Should I leave first?
Yeah.
It's simple as that. You know what I mean? You keep the home, you buy a new one, or you downsize, or you relocate, and you're going to be okay.
You being almost 70, you have, you've looked at that, you've been there, and also being with another partner, a long-term partner who did pass, you sense it a little different. And those
even
what
more.
I'm saying
That's
are
true.
like, the benefits of, just
have living more
else.
right, and you get the benefit of my experience. But
exactly.
Even if that had not happened, I still would have been looking out.
No,
I
know you
very
would
much
have.
for sure.
But I'm saying, since it did happen, it's like, okay, you even know how to do something different at this point.
Sure.
That you didn't think about that could have come up.
Right,
so
right.
It's just the life lessons. It's not
hold that then.
The age.
Okay, well, here we go. You say life lessons, and the longer you live, the more you learn, one can say, for argument's sake. Okay, let's just say, because if you're not learning, you're going to keep repeating the same mistakes until the lesson, either you don't get it at all, or you're going to finally get it, and the light comes on. I will say this, it's not just because of our age difference. Let's go back to how was I raised. I am a child of the 50s and 60s. My mother and father had it, and I think of my mother as my only parent because my father was around, but I'm just saying, worked very, very hard, scuffled, made arrangements, and that's the only thing. You need to make some arrangements. You need a job, and then here come back Billie Holiday, God bless the child of God his own. And I knew at a very early age that I didn't, I should not expect anyone to take care of myself but me. And that was a lesson that my mother shared with all of us. Some of us heard it louder than others, but it stuck on me. And then on top of that, as I knew I was already coming out and I knew I was gay, and I'm just thinking, I ain't getting married to no man. All right, who gonna take care of Sharyn? Sharyn. Right. So my age, when I was raised, and how I was raised. So all those factors just was contributing into the person that I became. So Absolutely. I am a baby boomer. God willing, I'm 68 next month. If our relationship was to dissolve and you were out there dating again, and whomever you would be dating, you know what I mean? I don't think that they would be as future focused as I am. Chances are. Because one thing, there's others out there.
It also depends on what you're looking for.
And you ain't looking for nobody, right? You wasn't looking for nobody to take care of you.
And I'm not necessarily looking for somebody to come in and say, hey, the future is this. Nobody's gonna be here forever. Da 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 da. My thing is, yes, all of that played a part. Your mom make arrangements. You knew that you were going to take care of yourself and all of that. That has nothing to do, I don't think, with age. Now, the fact that you was born in the 50s, that's a difference between us. But it's also just the household you grew up in. For instance, I think you were focused on, let me take care of me, let me get this job, let me have this job, let me go to school, let me get my master's in this, that, and the other. And it's just who you were. But other things you missed, I think, like family, learning to make it work as a family for whoever you're with. I think you've been self-focused for a long time now.
That's not a bad thing, but that's the way. That's just the way I have been. You're right.
Absolutely. So I could meet a woman if you were gone today. I can meet a woman your age who is way on the other opposite side. She's maybe all about family and not really into futuristic. Putting stuff together.
And if something happened to her, she know her aunt will help her, her niece will help her.
She might have the mentality of let's pass the hat when I die. I'm not paying in no insurance and da 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 da. Because some people do have that attitude. Right. So I just think, yes, the fact that you were born in the 50s and the fact that I was born in the 70s has a lot to do with the age difference, but not our differences.
Okay.
Because
what brings us together?
From me.
Absolutely, every day, every day. But it does pour into it. I mean, there's some things that you think. Okay, here's a good example. We were at the retirement desk, and there was a guy who was handling my folder. He was just saying. He said, "I've never written a check in my life." Because he's at the,
he was like 28.
Yeah, he had never. Well, that's okay, but he had never written a check. And that was just like that. I know that sounds so old school, whatever. I still write checks, to a few people, but
I write them out just like they used to.
You're right. Now, I mean, I got to do this and I got to do that, and she shows me all the fast
I'm
things.
Like, you can pay that online, right?
Right.
I'm just saying.
You can sell that, right? You can Cashapp that. Be like, and I'm slowly coming into it, but my point is that there's some things like with this new generation, they don't understand cursive. Cursive.
Yeah.
And and I have a beautiful handwriting.
Yes,
and when I see these young people, the guy wrote something on the paper, and I swear it looked Chinese to me. Yeah. I just like, what did he write? His handwriting was just terrible. And then I'm like, wow, they don't even teach kids how to tell time by the old clock, the old wooden clock, and your little hands at a 2 and the big hands at 12. You know what I mean? They like looking at their watch and something's blinking. The quartz thing changed the world. You know what I mean? I'm like, you do know when it's on the 9, it's 1:45. No, they don't even learn how to tell time like that. That time has passed.
Yeah.
Was a time when you didn't tell people that you've had 3 jobs.
That's the generational differences.
That we have, and I'm a generation older, so I have some differences.
But the differences aren't a bad thing, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not saying they are either, but they are
generational differences. Yeah, a lot of that has happened. And I learned cursive as well. My cursive writing is better than my print, but I print all the time. And she's like, who wrote this? Yeah, okay. So it looks like a 3rd grade handwriting. Wait a minute.
I said, is it a map to a treasure?
But if I wrote in cursive, my cursive writing is a lot better. But nobody really does that these days. So it's like, but I just think back when you were going to school, that was penmanship was a big thing. Like,
they spent half the semester, right? Because people wrote, right?
Right, exactly. But now it's like, people typing and whatever, generational.
Yeah,
not a bad thing.
But it is a thing. Yeah,
I took typing in college, and in high school, and I know how to type. And so if Sharyn needs something type, I type it up. We learn from each other, and it's okay.
But it makes a difference. But those are the social, educational, whatever. There's so many doors that comes into this to who you are and how you're performing in your relationship. You roll all that together, and we're still come back down to we're just 2 black lesbians loving each other. I'm just saying, because of the age difference, things do pop up to show. I'm just like, it's not a bad way of looking at things. It's just a different way than I would.
Yeah.
It's the fact that social media has taken over, and the way Rosa has no problem posting things online. I'd say she posts every day, if not twice a day, or very often. I can go through, but often. I can go through my week, my month, almost without posting unless something really big is coming up, and I feel the need to say, hey, Rosa and I, for my birthday, we went hot air ballooning. That's a big red, gold letter day. I'm going to post that, me up in the air over the wine country, and it's my birthday and my baby's with me. So I will post that. One, because I'm feeling loved and we're having fun and it's something different. But I'm saying, because she's raised with that, she's very computer savvy. Me, not so much. It wasn't my generation. So all these things, the good, the bad, the ugly, the values, where you get your values from. How do you see the world? One thing that Rosa has brought out, this has nothing to do with not just with our relationship, but she's very Afrocentric. And I've been with women who, not so much. One, because I was dating outside of my race. 2, that wasn't the biggest thing on my mind. And she went to a black college. Me, I went to the Navy for 21 years, and then, somewhere in there got some college in, and then when I, retired, I, got my master's and all, but blah, 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 blah. Those things are still differences, because had I gone to a black college, not only got in school, but went to a black college, I'm sure I would have been a different person. When I write checks out for charity, 1 or 2 might be for black, but I'm sending money to white men. You know what I mean? Oh, the USO, oh, the veterans, oh, the POW, all of which are fine and great and necessary. But I'm just saying, I was just put in a different pool, and I learned different things. You know what I mean? Like, I know black people. I'm a black person. She's black, and we need to help black people, and we need to adopt a family, and and what I do is offer my commentary on what black people ain't doing. It's like it would make me angry when I go into my neighborhood and or the hood, and everybody can get money together for bail money, but we can't get money together for book money. Everybody knows some black student trying to make it through school. Send him or her $300. And you ain't got to send $1,000 for Johnny, who's in jail again 4 times before he's 20 years old. So don't start me on that. So back to our relationship, back to the fact that I'm older, she's younger, how it changes our dynamic. So there's a couple more things that I want to talk about, that older, younger thing, about the differences. Okay. Or some things that's the same. People think when because you're dealing with a younger person, that, oh, well, your sex life is going to be booming. Not necessarily. I think it's with the two people. I've had great sex with women my age, and I've had okay sex. Everybody got their story. Everyone got their issues. And of course, I love my wife, and we okay. But all I'm saying is, people say, well, she's young, and I know she's hot to trot. No, maybe yes, maybe no.
Sharyn initiates it way more than I do.
Because I'm that older lesbian. Like, well, why not? Is everything okay? You got something else to do at 7 o'clock? I even give you a day's notice. Clear your schedule for tomorrow. But seriously, but that's just who you are.
Yeah.
And that's way too much information. But no, but I do. But I've always been like that. So one can say, like, I don't know how Rosa deal with that old tired thing. Like, sweetie, don't fool yourself. I'm good.
They say don't sleep on the bodega.
I can't believe you said that.
It is what it is.
But it's not because we're gay. That's just who you are and how you are.
Yeah.
And me, I'm ready. You know what I mean? I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't do it every day.
Yeah.
Or try to fit it in. Okay. And Rose is like, again? Now? I gotta go to work. Well, can't you call in?
Be like, go in late.
With a smile on your face.
It's a no for me.
Yeah, it's like right now I'm doing my hair. Duh.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's one of the differences. And we've said many times throughout our videos, regardless of what the subject matter was, is that no two people have the same attitude about money. It's just rare. Statistically speaking, it is possible, but also statistically speaking, it's highly improbable.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've lived with several women in my life, and no. 2 reasons why couples argue the most is about child rearing and money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You argue if there is money. You argue if there's not money. If there is money, you argue about what to do with the money. If you don't have money, you argue, why the hell ain't you got no money? Because you've been buying them red bottom shoes. So with the kid thing, as Rosa had alluded to earlier, because I haven't had children, she feels that I probably have nothing to say on the microphone about how raising children. No. Don't deny it. Hold on. Let me, and I'm gonna get off the microphone. I'm going to say this. I am in the world and I am aware, and children are little people who become big people. Okay? I've seen some little children turn into badass adults. And I see it at an early age. Rosa, because she has had children and she's a wonderful mother and she's a very naturally giving, compassionate person, the marriage of those two things, she's wonderful. Me, I'm old school because again, I was born in the 50s. So my thing is, no, I'm not one of them like bust his butt. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying though, I've seen you say pretty much in this generation, I've never seen such poor parenting. I see some scenarios when the children are acting like the parents, and the parents, they come in like, well, you know, I don't want to upset him. I can't go in his room because he's got privacy issues. And then you want to know why people running around hiding guns and shit. You didn't even go in your room and find out your son had 2,000 bullets there. No, it was underneath the bed and he told me not to look. I mean, be a parent. It's okay to say no. If you don't say no to your children or put some boundaries there or some realistic expectations for their behavior for now and in the future, they go into the world thinking everyone owes them something, everyone cares about them, and everyone is going to respond to every desire they may have. You are setting them up for extreme failure. Extreme, because the world does not act like that. What you are supposed to do, and I invite parents out here listening to this, so yes, we are gay, but we're also gay parents. Right. Rosa has 2 children. When I met her, and I say the age difference, because I thought dating a woman my age, if I had children, I would be a grandmother by now. Chances are I am 68 next month. Rosa didn't have children until she was 30 years old. So I'm dealing with a younger woman with young kids. Boom, pow, pow. Pow, pow. I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready. Yeah. So you can speak. You sound like you want to say
agree. Something. I agree with, the scenario you just set up, like how you raising them up. And you do have to set boundaries to your children. But in my mind, Sharyn thinks children are one size fit all. Like they all learn from the same lesson the same way, and that's just not how it is. And when you have to cater to their learning the lesson, it might come different and look differently. And in her mind, my mother had these many kids and everybody did it. Yeah, I mean, that's how my mother was too. She whooped everybody. I had an aunt who had 8 kids, and we used to always be over there, and she whooped every last one of us as one of the lamps got broke. Didn't even ask questions. But it's like, some of us learned from that butt whooping and some didn't. So some kids you got to talk to.
Yeah, and that's not the best thing to do, and we know that.
Right.
But, yeah.
But I'm saying her attitude is one size fit all with children, and that's what I'm just trying to get her to like, no, I'm not. Well, did you talk to them about this? No, I'm not talking to them about that just yet, because sometimes when your kids are ready to hear you versus not. But she not having that mother
gene.
No, I think you have the mother gene. I just think because you don't have any, that connection is not there, and it's a little different for you. And to see that kids are different and grow differently, are different, 2 different human beings and whatever, and you always look at them as kids. Like, why are they, in our circle because they're in our circle. They're sitting right here. Well, when I was growing up, kids didn't sit around, but I mean, some kids may need that for their vocabulary. Sometimes it depends on what type of conversation parents are having. Yeah, the child doesn't need to sit at every table. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you cussing, arguing, and all of that. They don't need to hear that.
Sure.
But if you're having a political talk or whatever, kids need to know. They need to learn. So, anywho, that's a whole nother segment. But I'm saying, yes, when it comes to the phrase, or what you said about 2 things that married people are going to argue about: money
and raising other children.
And I would say that our children were probably our biggest, spiritual dialogue arguments that we have. Other stuff you always say that.
Yeah, spirited.
Oh, spirited.
Spirited dialogue. Like that. We wasn't arguing, but we had spirited dialogue. Yeah. But may I jump in?
I think that's our biggest thing, but that too is not an age difference. That is, you grew up to this, I grew up for that, and I see who my children are, and I raise them accordingly. Both of them are 2 different people.
Very much so, but I still put in the bigger pot children are children, and you ain't gonna run me. I let them. I do believe I'm larger than charge. I'm going to, some things I'm going to ask you to do and some things I'm going to tell you to do. No, not when you get ready. Right now is a good time. Yes, I was in the military for over 20 years, but that's not the reason. That's just how it is. When you get big enough and motivated enough to get out here and go to work every day and bring some money, put something in the pot other than a spoon, then maybe you can have a little better conversation with me, because I'm taking care of you. It's probably going to be the way Sharyn said so. And if that's just it. Now, because Rosa, and like I say, from the videos you'll discover, she didn't have a wonderful, loving childhood, and I get that, because you bring who you are to what you do. You know what I mean? We all have memories of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And maybe we said, when I have children, I'm going to boom, 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 and make them let them eat ice cream every day. Whatever you said you was going to do. Me, not so much. Not so much. Though I do say, I do take, my mother's rearing has definitely left its signature upon me, but all that she said wasn't wrong. And so much of what she said was true. And now, and as the person that Sharyn has become, the women I was with, if they did have children, the children weren't there. And then I had a woman that came into my life that she had a child while we were together. And of course she named the child after me. That's what lesbians do. Okay, but anyhow, you either become the godmother or whatever. We ain't together no more, but I named my little Sarah after you. But what I'm saying is, if we had any pinch in our relationship, of course, it was the rearing of the children. I'm old school, I'm older, and I have very set ideas of what I don't allow children to do. You just don't, because you ain't grown, because you ain't me, because I said so.
But it's still not a age thing. So
it is an age.
When you're talking about dating older, dating younger,
age as in born from a different place.
Yeah,
different time.
But raising kids, you can be 25 and 65 and still, have the same ideas, ideology.
Yeah, that's
of
true.
What raising a child looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's still not a negative.
You
thing.
don't think
It's
I would be a good
that.
mother? You don't think I'd be a good mother?
No, I think you'd be an excellent mother, but I think you'd be more aware of things that you can do with kids versus not, because you think they come in one size fit all. You already say, oh, if I was going to have a child, his name was going to be this.
Sherman.
So what happens if you had a girl? So did you pick out a name for that? Because you have it like one way. It is that way, and that's the only way.
I would have had one child. It would have been a boy, because the world needs better men. And I feel like I'd be the woman to help raise one.
There y'all have
and
it.
I'd name him Sherman, because my name is Sharyn. And I feel like with a name like Sherman Williams, he'd have to be a tough little cookie. And I know he's going to be smart, because his mama's smart.
Dare I say, y'all have it. Suppose Sherman came out and not smart. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like,
you take him back. You get a return.
Then you have to, adjust your ideas of what you thought your life for kids was going to be. I used to think the same thing. I didn't have mine till I was 30, but I used to see other people's kids and babysit them and be like, no, your child need to do this, this, and this. But I wasn't thinking about all of the other things that come with it. So that's a whole nother thing. Again,
and you know what?
That is not age thing for me. It is not. It's something that I think is a big deal when it comes to dating someone older or dating someone younger who has younger kids. If you're you're just not a kid person, number one. That's
that may be true. I've lived a very adult focused life.
Right. So you one of them people in the movie that comes into the marriage and put kids in the closet and be okay with that. So
Rosa, don't say that. They're gonna think I'm me.
But I'm saying I'm being dramatic.
I never put the kids in the closet.
My kids would have told me, so I already know. But
can I say this? What? When we were dating, I didn't know the kids was calling Rosa. I'm upstairs.
Yeah, my kids tell me all of that. So I wouldn't know.
Miss Sharyn wouldn't give me an extra piece of cake.
But at the same time, if you're going to be with someone and they have children, if you're not a kid person, then don't do it. I don't care how the connection works. It's just not going to be a good connection for the children. It might be good between y'all, but those kids got to grow up. So then they're gonna be mad at their mother. No, because she was so in love with her, and you don't want that.
Yeah, we had to navigate that. That was
but
tough. I've gotten better, but I'm still not good.
Again, that to me is not that this is not an age difference.
And I think oftentimes it's yeah.
More of my story is if you all, the energy fits, the love is there, you find them beautiful in whatever way that you find them beautiful. Go for it. I don't care what the age is. I don't care if you've never dated somebody like that. Try it. Might work. Might be what you're looking for, because we all have that list of what we're looking for, or that picture of how it's supposed to look, and sometimes it's not gonna look like that. So try it. If y'all vibing, go for it.
I
ain't saying date nobody child. So let them be.
no. Let me be grown,
right,
and legal.
But if y'all grooving and it's a mutual match, go for it. Just go.
Well, I think I just think older, younger, older, whichever way y'all going on it. I got a buddy who I call him my new BFF, but anyway, he's an older gentleman, and a very good man, a very kind man, a very educated man, and he is 70 plus. The love of his life is just turned 30. Whew.
But what was he doing at 30? So that's the thing I'm saying. You got to go back.
And between the two of them,
they are having issues.
Yeah, they're having issues of all kind of just human being issues. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of love in that relationship. But just because of the age alone, the differences. So I'm telling you, I'm a baby boomer. He's a traditionalist. By his age wise, so. Almost could have been my daddy. No, but seriously, they are experiencing different wrinkles in their relationship because of the age difference. There's cultural differences,
I think they're experiencing it more so because one is, likes to drink a little more and gets crazy with that, and so that plays a part in the relationship.
Oh, it colors the whole thing. Yeah,
because he's so much younger. He's still in his party mode. He wants to go out. And his partner and I feel like that, sometimes with Sharyn, if we go out, sometimes she'll grab a cane, sometimes she won't, or sometimes, she might be hurting. So now we got to walk slow or move, they just want to go have fun. And, to him, his partner may be slowing him down. Like, I just want to go out to the club. I just want to dance. And if you don't want, don't come. So I just think that a lot of their issues, maybe one or two might be the age different, but for the most part, a lot of their issues is not age differences.
I think it's several things. I think it's two buckets, not one. You're right, but it's not the age and other things and the person in their own situation. But the bottom line is they're trying to love each other through it. And I just say, God bless you. I hope it works out for the both of you. But if I would throw the tea leaves on the table, and this is a hard one. I think it's a hard one. I think it's very, very difficult. Nothing's easy. I mean, if it's worth working for and, working hard for, I hope you reap exactly all that you deserve and wish for. But back to Rosa and I and our situation and, the age difference, it surely hasn't gotten in between us. It's, I just think it makes us appreciate things more as I'm that many years older than her. Like right now, Rosa is flirting with menopause, and having an older partner is like I can help her navigate it a little bit more. Every woman's going to go through it. Every woman has a different journey. I'm not saying mine is hers. I'm just saying that it's good to have somebody to talk to about it when them hot flashes come, But we, the things that could trip us up hasn't. Just hasn't. Because one, we get to talk through it. One, we have this wonderful medium in which to communicate with so many other people. We have gone over longer than any other video we've ever done. This is now going to be an hour or so, but I just think it's that rich, that important, and it just it's not about being appealing, but it's it's worthwhile. It's something that you just need to take a bite out or just take a couple of minutes and think about it, especially if you find yourself in a relationship when there is a significant age difference. If I have to define it, they define anybody, if you're with someone who is 8 years plus older than you, well then you're older. Yeah. You know, not like a cougar or whatever. And I say, I just don't even like those titles and whatever. Love is love.
Right.
Love is love. So I think we have definitely wore it out. I don't think we need a part 3. But there's one more thing I do want to say. My attraction to younger people, I find them fearless. When I'm around people my age, sometimes they sitting around looking at their bunions go, bro, like, oh, I got bunions as big as onions. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm 68 and I ain't got bunions, but I'm getting older too. But what I love about the youth and the energy, that is what attracts me to younger people. And it's in my social world. Most of my friends are at least 10 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. I got a couple of people 70 and above or whatever, but they are the exception, not the norm. Yeah. So, like I said, we have definitely gone much longer than we planned on it, but we just felt the need to go there today. So please allow us that, give us that grace, if you will. I'm sure this is going to truly spark a whole lot of questions and a whole lot of comments. I hope it do, because I'm ready for you. And I'm doing pretty good about getting back to you guys within 2 or 3 days, whatever. You make a comment, we got a comment for you. So we thank you. We love you. And as always, we're wishing you the very best.
Of all good things, stay safe and stay woke.
Yeah, I'm going to get with the girl in the yellow.